How are we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media once again, coming to you just before the last of the end of the year holidays. On Thursday is New Year's Eve, which means Friday is New Year's Day. Hooray, 2020 is over. A lot of people have looked at this year as just a shit year, and I guess I can't disagree. A lot of bad stuff has happened this year. However, it wasn't the year's fault. You know, the year had nothing to do with it. Just happens to be how we measure it, and there you go. But for the sake of it, for the sake of the fun of it, let's just say 2020 going out with a bang. For some people would like to be able to put the gun to 2020's head and pull the trigger and execute it. As awful and dark as that is to say. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about New Year's again. Because it is the holiday season, I won't take up too much of your time like I tried not to with the Christmas episode last week. But for New Year's, we're going to do something easy. We'll do a bit. Let's do a bit for New Year's. New Year's is a time for planning for the new year. What's that going to bring? What's that going to bring us? A lot of wishful thinking and a lot of hopefulness and a lot of new goals being set and whatnot. All kinds of positive things. That's the beauty of having a year that went to shit, just a complete dumpster fire of a year with lockdowns and protests and all kinds of other stuff, quarantines and just a lot of bad. You go flip through any paper, it's easier to find bad news or website or what have you. I know we're in the 21st century, not a lot of print media out there these days, but flip through any or look through or click through any kind of news media, current events, whatnot, from either locally to state, to our nation, to our continent, to our planet. It's easier to find bad news than it is to find good news. And that kind of sucks. So as we get down to the holiday season, the end of the year holidays, these are the times where we talk about giving and loving and love thy fellow man and woman and so on and so forth. The good, the positive holidays, even though it's not so positive for everyone. I know that. I'm not singling out anybody or trying to kick anybody when they're down. We all know that the holidays can suck for some people too. But generally speaking, we try to keep positive, and as the year comes to an end, we can take everything that's happened and say F it and move on. And that's what we all always try to do, whether we better the world around us or better ourselves. Hey, sometimes you got to start at home, man. You got to start small and work your way up, So start with yourself. And with that comes the various goals and plans, and those usually end up being New Year's resolutions. Everybody makes them and says at midnight, boom, I'm starting, that's it, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing whatever it is you may be making your resolution for. Some people it's to get in better shape, which is part of this bit. Some people it's to quit smoking. Some people it's to quit drinking. Some people it is to better their, personal relationships, whether they be friends or more than friends, and then whatever that may entail, to each their own. Resolutions are not really my thing. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not really my thing. I don't make them typically. I'm not one to get into that tradition as part of the holiday of the end of the year and the beginning of the next year. No, I usually go to the party, hang out with my friends, count it down, say hooray, hang out for a little while longer, go home and go to bed somewhere between 1 and 4 or 5 in the morning. Which is pretty typical way to celebrate. Most people, well, I can't say most, but I know a lot of people do that while kicking back drinkies. I don't do that anymore, but there was a time where I would kick back a few too. In any case, the resolutions, not really my thing. People don't always stick to them, January, February. I get distracted in February. That's when my birthday is, and that just takes the top spot right there. My birthday? What? Get excited like a child for my birthday. Like most people are excited on Christmas morning, I'm excited on my birthday morning. It's kind of silly, especially for an adult, grown man. Kind of silly, don't care. My thing, my fun. But as far as the resolutions go, I don't do them typically. Although this year I have said, for 2021, my thing is I'm flipping the script. I'm flipping if I were to make a New Year's resolution, this is mostly joking outside of Ski Rex Media. It is, I'm flipping the script. All bets are off, and I'm facing it head on and I'm laughing at everything, and it's gonna be great. And there is some serious in that, but that's for a discussion outside of this. No, we are going to do the New Year's resolution bit right here on Ski Rex Media and tie it into snow sports, skiing, snowboarding, blah blah blah. Now, not everybody makes resolutions specific to one thing, and we know that. But there are skier. We've seen it tons of times. I'm not doing an original bit here at all. This is 100% unoriginal. We've seen the resolutions done for skiers, snowboarders, and what they entail. Some of it entails improvement, getting better at your chosen way to slide down the mountain. Others want to really up their game. This year, I'm going to head into the backcountry for my New Year's resolution. Backcountry, snowcat, helicopter, those kind of things. Some people I'm going to up my competition game, amateur races, or what other, big air or rail jams. I know jams aren't really competition, but sometimes there's a competitive element to it. Or enter just a rail competition, amateur or whatnot. Maybe get into the uphill craze, big fad and big thing this year, and people are loving it and really loving it. I see it all the time now. So let's get into that, all these different things, maybe to go more often, maybe to go less often, and not be, push this addict way of life towards it, if you understand my meaning. Not that I'm taking a shot at addiction or anything like that. It's that if you are doing something too much, maybe curb it a little bit. Maybe that's what you're into, or things like this. Like I said, entering competitions, getting better. And I just lost my train of thought on the last one I was going to do, but it's all there. Getting in ski shape. People talk about exercising more for their their other New Year's resolutions. Why not do it here? Maybe it's drinking less in the après game. Maybe it's just finding a way to enjoy it while we have to deal with the COVID-19 restrictions, not only mountain restrictions, but travel restrictions too, and that kind of sucks. In fact, I think a lot of the New Year's resolutions, whether it be in snow sports or other parts of your life, or anybody's life, I should say, is going to revolve around, they're going to be limited. They're going to be limited because they have to revolve around, the restrictions and everything we have out there. So if your ski or snowboard resolution was to travel more, and just get out of your state. Say you live here in New England and you've always wanted to ski the Rockies, so you jump on an airplane, boom, head out to Colorado, and you're done. Or if you wanted to ski Alaska and you head up there and boom, you're done, to the Southwest. Or if you're in one of those places and want to come here, or go to Canada, or to Europe, or in the summer head down to Australia, or South America, any of those things. And not impossible, but not easy to do this year. Not definitely in 2020 and 21, it still might be a little difficult. But those are the things we usually talk about. Here's what I'm going to do. If I was going to make a skier New Year's resolution, that's what I was going to do. I would definitely take from that list that I just kind of sort of read off there and throw out there. You know what I mean? I would absolutely put improvement at the top. This year, as a skier, I'm going to improve. And by improve, that's kind of more of a refresher thing for me. I just want to get back to the level I was at, and being comfortable at that level, saying, all right, it doesn't matter what color the sign is, I can ski that trail, and just do it. That's kind of where I'd like to be at. So if I'm doing that for 2021, I am absolutely going to do that. I am going to improve. I am going to keep drilling and trying and practicing, and that is what I'm going to do. My second one would be to go more. I've been 3 times this season already, once inside, twice outside. And that's great. And I've already got my first ski day picked out. I think I know where I'm going to spend my birthday, February 22nd, if you were wondering. I think I know where I'm doing that. But that's 2 more days. I would like to go more, and I can go more. Granted, again, a lot of this stuff, like I said, outside of this, a lot of people are going to be making New Year's resolutions that revolve or work within the COVID-19 and other, stuff that's going on in the world, both negative and positive. I'm going to go more, and the point was, we make our resolutions around that, but we can still do things, and I'm going to go more, at least unless things get shut down again. Then obviously I'll still go more. I'll start, just wandering up the hill, up the road, just grab everything, hike up, ski down, do a few laps. You don't need 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 feet of vertical to have a good day. 200 feet is fine. 50 feet is fine. If you got a hill, make it work. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go more. That's what I want to do. I want to go more. I have my Indy Pass. I've only used 1 day on it so far, which means in the state of Vermont, I still have 7 more days to use on it. 4 hills, 2 apiece. That's 8. I've used 1, 7 left. 7 left. Go more. And I think a lot of people would like to be able to do that, is go more often. And we know, it depends on work schedules and kids schedules and significant other schedules and weather and, COVID-19 and all this other stuff. True, but we can work around it and make that part of your resolution, to look at this stuff that could be negative and say, how do I work around it or work with it? Both positive thoughts. That's another one of my things. It's a continued thing, though, to be more positive. That's something I do every day anyway. How to be more positive, how to see the bright side, how to work within the bright side. Do that anyway. But anyway, back to the skier list. Get in better skiing shape. I need to. I haven't made it to lifts closing yet, because by 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, my legs are jello, and that's after lunch break. Like, it's not me going continuously. That's a fucking lunch break in there, and it just isn't working out for me anymore. So I get tired, just like anybody else. Get into that shape. Work out. Being healthy is good, not just for the sports you participate in, but for one's everyday life. Both physical and mental health is good. So definitely getting back into better ski shape. Start that working out. I'm not going to get giant big guy, but I'm definitely going to get in better shape all over. And then, as I said before, one of the things I want to try is going uphill, and that goes along with going more. Probably go more if I would just pick a hill and walk up it. I do want to try that because it does look cool, and it's also part of the health thing. You will get in shape. The more you do it, the better shape you'll be in, because you will have to, your body will have to get accustomed to that. You know what I'm saying? All these things. These are things I'm thinking about doing. Obviously, your list may be similar, maybe completely different, maybe, non-existent. Maybe you're like me typically. Like I said, I don't do resolutions for New Year's. I don't say, here comes 2021. This is what I'm doing at midnight. This starts, and I'm running it till 11:59 the following New Year's Eve. Excuse me. And, not everybody does it. Maybe your list is similar. Maybe it's different. What I can say is this: if we just take the resolutions out, because resolutions, we see it throughout January. Almost any news or other media outlet puts up the statistics that have been statistics that have been put together. People take these polls and whatnot and find that nobody, or a very, whatever the limit, it's a limited amount. It's usually less than half of people actually follow through with it. And there's reasons. Sometimes people shoot too high for their goals. That is possible. Some people say anything is achievable. That's not always true. And it is okay, as long as you're moving forward, to have not such a lofty goal. It's okay. Start small, baby steps. That's fine. That's one of the reasons people don't keep up with this stuff. Sometimes things happen. Life gets in the way, as people say. We let life get in the way. Maybe things change. Maybe you decide you don't like this after all. Maybe you are already in great shape and you've plateaued and you can't go any further. I don't know what it is. But resolutions can also, to get them done, cause pressure. And when people are under pressure, sometimes they fail. Some people thrive on pressure. Some people falter on pressure, or with pressure, because of pressure. Let's throw all the resolution junk out. Just for the, like I said, with the holiday episodes, I try not to take up too much of people's time. Give you something to listen to, 15, 20 minutes. And then you can go back to your families. Or you can listen to this in the car while you're going somewhere. If you're going back home, or if you're going to the mall, or if you're going down to the store, whatever it is. If we get rid of all the resolution talk and just decide that, if nothing else, we have to do what's positive for us and positive for the world as a whole, and realize that a lot of the junk we hate, that we find negative, that sometimes we cause, doesn't matter. What matters to you is what matters, and then you have to take it a step further and say, what does it really matter in the grand scheme of the universe? For me, skiing does matter. What does it matter in the grand scheme of the universe? It doesn't. That's why I'm sure I'm only talking to like-minded individuals who like snow sports. Not everybody cares about this like I do, like you do. So I know that I'm not going to push it on anybody. I'm not going to be a try-hard about it. I'm not going to be a hater about any of it. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to do it for me, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'd like you to do it for you and enjoy it. And then we can do it for ourselves together. That's a possibility. No resolution. None of that. I mean, again, I went through a list what I would do, but I don't need to do it because what I want to do is just do it. I just want to do it and have a good time while I'm doing it. And at the same time, I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to be positive. And if someone has an interest, I'm going to try and feed into that interest. But if they don't have an interest, I'll be like, all right, dude, no worries. I'll catch you on the flip-flop. No worries. Basically, when we go into this new year, every resolution people make, you will never find a negative one. No one says, for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to get worse. I'm going to drink more. I'm going to become an asshole. I'm going to do this badly. No one does that. It's all positives. So we can save ourselves a lot of time and trouble and just say, you know what? I'm going to try and have my goals, things I want to do, things I'm going to shoot for. But in the end, because I do too, both personally, I'm going to try and grow personally. I'm going to try and grow professionally. And I'm going to explore my entire state if I can. I've lived here most of my life. I still haven't seen the whole thing. Isn't that something? But in the end, have your resolutions if you think you need to, or if you just have fun, playing with the tradition. But in the end, as we approach the new year, approach it with your head up, with a lot of positivity. Go into it thinking, you know what? Yeah, this last year's been nuts, but I'm going to make the best of what I got now. And as we move forward, I'm going to make the best of that too. Laugh a few times, smile a few times. Sure, there's going to be some bad stuff happening. That's life. But we can do our best to be positive as much as we can. You know what I mean? If I'm going to make a resolution, skiing and for life, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going into it positive. I'm going to laugh at everything, and I'm just going to go into it with my head up and say, you know what? This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Does that make sense? I hope it does. We're almost at 20 minutes, so I won't take up any more of your time. We'll go out on that note, and we'll come back after the new year fresh for more Ski Rex Media and Ski Rex Media podcasts, hopefully with more guests. Planning that out a little bit, see what we can do in the new year for the second part of the ski and snowboard season. Obviously, the first part is fall into the beginning of winter, running up to the end of the year, and then the new year, the rest of winter running into spring, and then whatever you do for the summer, if you go up to the high mountains or go inside or Plastic Hills or whatnot. We'll take a look at all of that. I know 2020 blew for a lot of reasons, but I'm sure most of you can come out and say, hey, this was good too. Maybe the shit was burning. Maybe the planet was burning. Maybe shit was going crazy. People were pissed and rioting and going nuts. But out of all that, there was still some good. And I hope it continues for you. We'll see you in the new year. I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. Please do not forget to subscribe and or follow on all the social media or all of the social media on YouTube, on any of the audio version platforms, whether it be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Stitcher, and so many others that you can find the Ski Rex Media podcast on. Follow, rate, subscribe, many stars as you can, like buttons, whatever it takes. Show your appreciation if you like it, or if you don't, let me know. There's comments, and there's the email link and the contact form on the website, skirexmedia.com. Let me know what you think, if you enjoyed it, if you hated it, if you have a New Year's resolution, if you think I should start being more active in the New Year's resolution thing. Like I said, I don't participate in it much, but have fun on New Year's Eve. I know you can't have big get-togethers and everything, but still, count it down, say yay. We'll go into this next year like just awesome, and then we'll see where we go from here into spring. What do you say? I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. Thank you for joining me for this one. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Now back to your families, friends, or whatever it is you do for the end of the year holidays, especially during the COVID-19 stuff. I'll see you later. Bye.